welcome back to the Real Estate Reserve Podcast. I'm Jason Balin from Hard Money Bankers, Ian Horowitz, Equity Warehouse, and back in studio, Chris Seveney from 7E Investments. We had a fire episode with Chris a few weeks ago, so if you haven't checked that out, definitely check that out. We talk about the ins and outs of buying, performing, and non-performing notes. We got real technical on that episode, so it was definitely a good one, definitely recommended. We wanted to invite Chris back onto the show to talk about a deal that potentially changed his life. It might have been a good deal, might have been a bad deal, but some deal that he was very affected by. Chris, welcome back to the show. Maybe let's just do a quick intro again, and then you can dive into a particular deal.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I come from a real estate background, been in real estate for 25 plus years, spent 15 years as a project manager, commercial construction, 5+ years starting and managing a multifamily division for a DC-based developer, and then ran a family office real estate portfolio before leaving to start my own mortgage note fund several years ago. So I've pretty much spent my entire career in real estate, and talk a little bit about the deal that got me started. And it's an interesting one because most people won't consider it a deal, but it was my primary residence. And I say that because my wife and I bought a piece of property in 2012, knowing we were going to knock it down. We picked a location, picked a lot, basically 1 acre lot here where we wanted to have some size. It was comical when we got under agreement because we asked the seller to allow us to do test borings to make sure we could, go put a, deep basement in it and so forth. But we bought the property in 2012 and started construction in 2013. And we acted as the GC on it. And between the timing, the connections I've had from my prior experience working in real estate, and just my management experience, we were able to basically get it built within 6 months and then refinance it with our bank and, got a loan with the bank and then a line of credit. And we had approximately about 50% equity at the end of the day when we finished building this thing, just from a timing of where the market was, where the subs were involved, because it was still pretty slow time. So a lot of subs at that time were still looking for work, giving very competitive pricing. I chuckled because one of our HVAC units just went out, and the cost to replace the unit was about the same cost we paid for the entire HVAC system for our house, including all the ductwork and everything. It was mind blowing, how costs have gone up just in 12+ years. So that really is what spurred our growth, because we then had this line of credit that we could go make some cash offers with on some dilapidated properties, which is what we did, to then spurn into pay cash, rehab it, refinance it out, and then just replenish that line of credit and just recycle that. And having the experiences, managing that type of project, saving 25% every time you didn't need a GC, basically allowed us to just pull all our equity just completely out of some of those deals. And if it wasn't for that, that first deal, which is, our house, we wouldn't have been able to do that.
That is the Northern Virginia way of doing real estate, everybody. All the teardowns out there, that is like commonplace. If you guys saw some of the dollar values on some of these houses that they're tearing down, most people would be like, holy shit, right? So with all that being said, that's pretty gangster. But I guess for your first deal, you utilized your skill set to get into the business per se, right?
We did. And ironically enough, we share the story of the day we were supposed to sign the construction loan was like Washington Mutual, one of those banks, merged and they put a freeze. So the excavator showed up at 8 o'clock in the morning. We started taking the house down. We go to refinance and they're like, oh, you're not refinancing today. And I was like, oh shit. Yeah. Oops. We just knocked down the house. Better not tell Wells Fargo this, who had it first. But then my wife actually had somebody who, a friend who did hard money previously. So we actually got, a private loan from them to basically get the construction going. And then, I borrowed some money from, I didn't take it out. I borrowed from my 401k. to get us to a certain point, and then we're able to finish it to get it refinanced. But yeah, that was a little bit of a, oops situation there.
Yeah, fast forward several years, you should have just not paid the bank and worked it out. If you guys didn't see Chris's last episode, we talked about the mortgages and how long it takes the banks to actually catch up and realize that they're not getting paid. But that would have been a bad position to be in. So
I do have a loan from 2010 right now that they haven't paid since 2010. So within our portfolio.
That's insane. It's just amazing how these banks, and we talked about it towards the tail end of the last episode. If you guys go check it out, is just how the banking system works as a whole. And, as much as you think they're there to help you, they're just selling and they're just trying to get money deployed, because the more money they can deploy, the more money they can get multiples on, the more deposits you make to them, the better it is for the banks. But that's a whole nother political episode. We should put you on a panel with you and a couple of our life insurance brokers and let them have at it. But Chris, where's the best place can people find you on the internet? They want to learn more about that first project you did or what you're doing today, and get in touch with you.
Yeah, they can go to 7einvestments.com, hit me up there. I'm also very active on LinkedIn. Chris Seveney, there's only one other. I'm the better looking one if you look at the LinkedIn profiles. And, also, other social media sites, my name's pretty uncommon, so it's pretty easy to find me.
Right on. We'll get that in the show notes. Guys, if you didn't check out Chris's other episode, it was absolutely awesome. And if you got any value out of this one or the other one, please feel free to share them. It's the best compliment we can give Chris, because we don't care about the likes and shares. And we will catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Real Estate Reserve Podcast. Do us a favor and like, comment, and share our broadcast. It helps the algorithm and helps us spread the word too. Till next time, thank you for tuning in.